All right, everybody. How you doing? Not that one. How you doing, everybody? Let's see me. Boom. Here I am again. Three up, three down. We're gonna make this work one way or another, even if it's not beautiful. All right. Well, it's not beautiful. I'm here. All right. So, the first two videos we talked about ruled thirds. We talked about symmetry, which is left and right looking the same. And next thing we're going to talk about is leading lines. So this means paying a lot of attention to what's going on outside of your subject in the photo. So let's take a look at what I mean by leading lines. So here's an overview. These leading lines are all moving down towards this little spot down here. Now, ideally, it would be something more interesting than a sign or a broom or whatever that is hanging out down there. But all of these lines will boom, wha bam, bam, bam. Everything says what's down there is probably the focus. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can see, but it draws your eye in a particular direction, and lets me take advantage of a feeling of motion, a feeling of direction, even though nothing in the picture is moving, right? Of course, your eye is going to get pulled. It's going to hit that. It's going to hit this line here and get pulled all the way down to the end of that hallway. You're over here looking at this, and then you come up here, and then bam, and then you get pulled all the way to. You can't avoid what's down here. So, ideally, something amazing would be down there, but it's pretty far away. So this version of leading lines is mostly just drawing your eye to the center of the picture. So it's cool, but yeah. So this is the idea for leading lines. The lines in a photo can lead to the subject or can imply motion or direction. The other one more implied direction and does not so much motion. But with this, I mean, I got this big tree here, and I got all of these lines moving towards this tree, right? So even the lines in the building are pointing at that tree, and gosh, isn't that a cool, if you want to really look in there, the brick lines are there too. And then of course the road, right? Everything's pointed, something is special about this tree. I want you to look at that tree. There's nothing special about the tree. But because the tree's well lit and in the background, and we have a little bit of a shaded area and stuff like that, it makes the tree more interesting. Now, probably, what I should do is go through this and get rid of this little spot down here and trim this up a little bit more, add a little bit more height on the top. But mainly, I just wanted to demonstrate this. I don't have a lot of really great leading lines pictures because they're kind of hard to find, and you got to set them up a little bit. You got to look for the lines in your photos, and in order to find really great ones. There are really great ones out there, but I really wanted to only use my pictures for this presentation. And remember, like the other ones, leading lines is just a place to start. It gives you something to think about while you're out taking pictures, right? So the cool thing about leading lines is it lets you move the viewer's eye. So all of this is pulling. If they start looking here, they're going to be pulled to this side of the picture, and you can't help yourself. It's everything's moving in that direction. So I really wanted these all to. Oops, that's red is a terrible color for that. Let's try purple. Purple's not much better. Blue? All right. Yeah, blue's better. I really wanted these to line up, but I also didn't want to move them. So this is just what was there, what was in the world already without me setting anything up. And I have these lines fighting against it, but they're all kind of still going in this direction, right? So the tips are pointing at whoever that is. And that makes it an interesting picture. It moves you along to what's going on in the background. So it becomes an interesting picture because who is this person? What are they doing? Where are they at? Why are they there? And so that makes these leading lines and looking at that person more interesting. I can't remember I think it's a woman, an older lady, but I can't really remember now. So let's look at the other one on the right. So I have these lines pointing at that car. I have these lines pointing at that car. And the whole thing kind of gets you over here and then bounces you up to look at the back end of that car, which is fun. I mean, it's just an interesting thing. Now, with this photo, honestly, leading lines wasn't my main purpose for taking it. I wanted to do foreground, middle ground, and background. So here I'm dealing with foreground. The middle ground is in focus, and the background just helps lay a little bit of context to the situation. Not quite a rule of thirds video or picture. Not quite. It's kind of leading lines because the lines are moving you in a particular direction, but it's not directly. But it does have some lines in it that you can use. And I think it's an interesting photo. I took about 4 or 5 of these trying to figure out the best way to get some foreground and some background. Anyway, but the point is the lines can move your eye and get you to a particular point. The wheel, the back end of the car, something like that. Right? So the natural lines in a photo can be used to draw the viewer's eyes to a particular point in a photo. So you have to be aware, you have to look through, when you're looking through the viewfinder, getting ready to take the picture, pay attention to what's going on around it. So a lot of times you'll see pictures with a pole sticking up out of somebody's head, and that's not very flattering. So you want to make sure while you're looking around for the pole, are there lines that are leading to your subject and stuff like that? Are the lines moving you away? Are they moving in? What's happening in your photo so that you can make a more interesting picture? And being aware of what's going on all around in the background of your photo is really important, right? So this one, again, like I said, I don't have a ton of really great leading lines photos. Ideally, I mean, the main focus of this picture is obviously the sakura, but that's not where the focus, it's not where the lines are leading you. The lines are leading you to this bridge, even up here, to a certain degree, right? Boom, boom, boom. Even the back are leading you towards it. So the bridge, I love this bridge. I think the bridge is really an interesting thing to shoot. I can only shoot so much of it at a time, though. And so even though I have all of these sakura cherry blossom stuff going on, actually I think these are plums. But anyway, I have all of this stuff going on with the trees and the beautiful trees and stuff, but I really want you to look at the bridge because there's a contrast between what's going on with this and what's going on with the trees. And it's interesting. It makes it adds a little bit more to it. And this is just off. Let's see, our rule of thirds lines probably somewhere in here. So it's not even in the rule of thirds area, but you still end up looking at it. Right? Right. Absolutely. All right. So the trains imply motion. I have a couple other train pictures that might be okay, but this one's also, whoa, oh no, my pencil fell. That's all right, doesn't matter. If I'm here, oh, it's not gonna let me do it without the pencil. That's fine. The whole idea is look at that roof for the train going down there. The edge of the platform draws that, the edge of the rail, everything's drawn down, and you notice the person there with the big old folder and stuff like that. This is a Shinkansen going to Hakata, so down south through Hiroshima and stuff like that. and it gives you a way to focus. You kind of start on the big part, right? You start on the big part of the train, and then you see it kind of dwindle down as it reaches the back of the left side of the picture. So it draws your eye, not necessarily pointing at a particular person, but it draws your eye in, and everything kind of converges on that person. So if you look, even the tiles on the ground at the station point at that person. All of those arcs kind of point at that person. The roof kind of tilts in towards that one spot, where this time there happens to be somebody. Don't know who, but somebody. All right, so that's the idea of leading lines. It moves the eyes of your viewers and the people who are looking at your pictures. So that can be really useful. Saw a blue mark in there. All right. Anyway, so that's the main idea for leading lines. You want to be able to get your viewers to look at something in particular, or get, some motion moving in a picture, even though the picture is not moving at all. So there's some really great, I like to do trains with leading lines because trains are super simple. But if you're walking around out in the world, look for things like stairs, railways, walls. All of these things can give you leading lines. Telephone poles and power lines can give you leading lines into something more interesting, right? And gives you a way to manipulate kind of what your viewer sees and what they feel about and what they perceive about the picture. So it's another way to do it. You don't have to do leading lines every time. Please don't, because it would be, just try stuff. Get out there, take some pictures. All of you, take some pictures. Y'all have a good one, and I will talk to you very, very soon. You have a good one.